Hello and welcome into another edition here of the Southeast Gasser and our traveling show. We are finding ourselves in Ringgold, Georgia here on September the 2nd, a beautiful Labor Day weekend that we have here. Still got cars rolling in here, Mitch Stott, and we're expecting some big crowds in a beautiful facility.
The beautiful facility, it certainly is. Steve Farrow, the operator of this racetrack, has been for a little while now. My Lord, at the changes he's made, David, you talk about fan or spectator friendly, new bathrooms, new paint, awnings over the bleachers. That's something you don't see at a lot of racing events. He has really taken, a keen interest in the comfort and the joy that the spectator has. And so what better event than to showcase to spectators the benefits of coming to this racetrack and the fun they can have than a Southeast Gassers event, because Lord knows, David, we have the ability to pack the house because we've done it many times and pretty much everywhere we go.
They're still rolling in here, Mitch, with this. One of the safety things that noticeable to me is the new concrete that they have all the way down the racetrack. Remember last year, I know you were very familiar with it, with Donovan's handling of that situation. There was a guardrail there last year. This year, two brand new sets of concrete all the way down the racetrack, again, for spectator and racer safety.
Yeah. I like to dig into just short history of some of the places we go to, and Ringgold, it's kind of unique. It really is. It was named after Samuel Ringgold. He was an American officer in the Mexican War. Palo Alto, I think, is a proper pronunciation of it. He died defending this country, this wonderful country, and so Ringgold was named after him. These places we go hold a drag race, and a lot of times we don't really acknowledge the history that's surrounding us. And Ringgold is surrounded by history, and fortunately for us, Ringgold has a population of people that like drag racing. They like true, genuine, original, heads-up drag racing, and they've got a drag strip that's just really second to nothing. It's an excellent facility. Well, David, let's take 1 second, because we are 7 races in now. There's 4 races, including this one, yet to go on our 10-race schedule. But just so that those watching at home understand, how are points tabulated? What's all this points we talk about all the time? Well, David, as you know, we was just discussing the facts so that we didn't get it wrong. I try never to rely on my memory. But a driver gets 20 points. A competitor gets 20 points to show up at a Southeast Gasser event. So if he drives in that gate with his race car and he takes to the racetrack one time, then that's 20 points. Then he gets 5 points for every round that he goes down this racetrack. That includes the 2 qualifying rounds. So he gets 20 points to come in. He gets 5 points for each round of qualifying, which is 2. So that's a total of 30 thus far. Now there's up to 4 rounds in each category. So he can walk out of this gate with 50 points. Now, a unique thing happened this year from the Southeast Gassers Association perspective, and Quayne Stott decided that he wanted to give these racers, because this is not one of the highest paid forms of racing, and sometimes a competitor just cannot make an event, hardship or any other reason. So Quayne's decided that he wanted to make that kind of fair. He said, I'm going to give you guys a throwaway race. So we're going to count the points on 9 events, not 10. That way, if you have a hardship case, it will not necessarily cost you a championship bid. So that's exactly the case. So now, David, when we read these points, people pay attention, because we're going to be saying that he is counting races, or has used his throwaway race with this points tabulation, meaning he has missed being at an event. So that's obviously going to be his throwaway race. And then there's others who haven't. So we're going to kind of run through the top 5 for these guys, for the folks at home, and give you an idea of where the points are, how tight they are, and how it could abruptly change. So let's go with it.
Yeah, you got right here. Let's just start out with our A gas. You got Donovan Stott on top right now with 285 points. And Donovan has yet to have a throwaway race. He's done very well this year. Right on his heels is Gabriel Burrell in the Southern Flyer. He's at 225 points, so 60 points behind, and he has not thrown away a race either.
That's correct.
Okay, so then in third place, you got Kenneth Phillips in the Silver Streak 2, and he's at 215 points. And he has thrown away a race.
He has thrown away a race.
So, you got that going on. And
he's really much closer to the top than he appears. That's right.
Yeah, that's where it could be the misnomer. That's why we wanted to clarify for our fans the throwaway race. And in fourth place, you got Chris Dunn at 200 points. And Chris is not going to be at this event. He's already thrown away an event. So that's 2 events that Chris is not going to count. And we move on to C-Gas. Doug Dobbins with a 250-point total in C-Gas sitting on top. He's not throwing away a race.
Correct.
And you got Rusty Sampson in that bad banana. He's sitting at 235 points, just 15 points back, and has not thrown away a race either. In third place, we got Jerry Birch. He's sitting at 225 points, just 25 points back of the lead, and he has thrown away a race.
Yes, he has.
So in those tabulations, that could be tough.
That could really put Jerry at the top where we've expected him to be anyway.
Yeah. Now, the rest of the competitors in C-Gas, it's very tight. You got Jared Bailey, Ernie Smith, Tim Bailey. All these guys have not thrown away a race, but they're sitting around the 210 to 205 range.
They are in striking distance, but a lot of things has really got to happen in their favor to get to that number one glory gold. Yes, it does.
And this weekend in C-Gas, the Bailey boys are not here. Tim and Jared are not here in attendance, so this most likely would be their throwaway race.
That'll be their throwaway race, and in light of that circumstance, as Quayne, visionary looked at, that doesn't hurt them. That does not take them out of championship contention.
That's right. And we move on to our D-Gas category, and then Todd Oden in that big double X. Now, he's running away with it, looks like on paper. 255 points, not thrown away a race. And Kelvin Cannon at 185 has not thrown away a race. I really feel like that's Todd Oden's to lose.
It is. I said it the last race, David. I just really think this will be Todd's championship year. He's not a mistake-making driver. You know what I mean? You just don't expect him to lose himself. His competitors have to beat him. He doesn't seem to show, he's not an example of what not to do. He's an example of what to do. And so with that being said, the performance of that big old 58 Chevrolet and his prowess, his precision behind the steering wheel, I just pretty well assured to my mind that he will be your 17 champion, yeah.
Over 50 cars on the lot here and fans continuing to roll in. 5:30, we're going to get started here today, folks. And it is going to be a great show. And we would be really remiss if we didn't, we got a reminder right here behind us. We got a great group, Southeast Gassers, Texas style, headed up by Ronnie Sandhuff. And we've seen Mr. Graham be here, Danny Graham run with us, make the pull out here many times. Hurricane Harvey really hit those people hard, and we would be remiss if we didn't remember those people today.
We absolutely got to, David. We want to race in their honor today, and we want to pray to God above that he gives them grace and mercy and relief. And so we just want to say, to Texas, all of Texas, and anyone who has family, friends living there, which is all of us, because Texas is a big place, we just want to say, we're with you. We sympathize with you. We pray for you. And with that prayer, we pray that you come out of this better than you ever were before. And just God bless you. I think that's the best thing we can do.
Couldn't agree with you more, Mitch. But right now, we got some racing action to get to. Let's check out highlights.
Let's do it.
D-Gas starts us out with the finalist from our last race, Kelvin Cannon, taking on Doug Cap.
That he does, David. Kelvin Cannon and that old Thames wagon, I tell you what a showing, what a change, what a turnaround for that team back there in Kentucky race. But I tell you, right here, same old motion, old Thames wheels up and gone. Looks like he may be fixing to pull another round off.
I don't know. Doug Capps went straight, and that is proven to be the case as Doug Capps keeps that Mustang straight. You saw Kelvin Cannon kind of move toward the center line as the green light hit right there, and that might have been the telltale sign of all Doug Capps needed, and he streaks away for the win.
What a different view that was from the starting line as what we just seen on the finish line. But up next, Cynthia Phillips and the Flower Power, and she's taking on the Mighty Lady.
That is Jack McDaniel out of Hamilton, Ohio, in the other lane in the Mighty Lady. Good start for Cynthia Phillips right there. A couple of big wide bodies headed down the track. Looks like Cynthia is getting through the gears well, and she takes her first round win in Southeast Gasser action.
That she does, David. Congratulations to Cynthia Phillips. She's been pounding this old race car, working on trying to get it to go faster, and you know, she has finally just paid off.
Next pair here in D-Gas, there you see Travis Owen in the Born to Boogie taking on Josh Pruitt in the Youngblood.
Josh Pruitt and the Youngblood machine, they have won their first race that they entered in D-Gas. Right now, Travis Owen, Born to Boogie, 55 Chevrolet. He's got to get past Josh in order to win his first round.
Looks like we're having a little sputtering problem down track for Travis Owen, a little fuel delivery system, maybe the culprit there. And Josh Pruitt's going to march right on to victory.
Certainly something going on with Travis's 55 Chevrolet, but what a classic Ford Chevrolet matchup.
Rick Cathcart going to take on B.B. Brown here in that Deputy Dog 1948 Willis.
Four-door nonetheless, David. And you know, the thing about Rick Cathcart there, he is Cynthia Phillips. He has just taken her out at every race. She has won her first round, and it's going to come down to one of these two guys who gets to meet up with her second round. And I'm betting she hopes that it's Deputy Dog.
Well, looks like the Deputy Dog got tattooed on the tree right there. Rick Cathcart in the Troublemaker is going to take that Studebaker truck to the next round to get Cynthia Phillips.
That he has. David, we missed the opportunity to welcome B.B. Brown's new backup girl to the race. This is her first time, and so we'd certainly like to see her out there again.
I'm so excited. I really didn't expect to win first round here, but it took 3 races, and I won first round finally, and I'm so thrilled.
Well, I mean, does that give you a little bit of confidence going into the second round? Now you've got that out of the way. That's a big confidence booster. So now it's not a man in your way anymore. It's not a machine in your way anymore. It's just simply go do what's required to win a race.
That's right, but I have Rick Cathcart, I think, next round, and he's had me at every race first round and beat me at every race first round. So, not really looking forward to running him.
Couple of Henry J's there. You see Nathan Cate taking on Brian Higginbottom in the H-Bomb.
David, you just won't find this anywhere other than a Southeast Gassers event. These two cars right here literally scream Gasser, and to have two of them lined up with one another first round in this race, this is pure Southeast Gassers gold right here.
Unfortunately, Nathan Cate leaves a little bit too early, giving the win over to Brian Higginbottom on the red light.
Irrelevant. One of them is going to go home anyway. That's the nature of a drag race. Just so happens that Larry has become a Sunoco Race Fuels dealer. Now, Sunoco is obviously very prominent in the fuel industry and certainly in the racing fuel industry. Here with him this weekend, he's got 116, 114, 110 octane fuels. Now, that's the kind of stuff that these AC and degassers breathe on, all right? They suck this stuff in and burn it and make a lot of noise and a lot of power. But the point is, Larry has come on board with the Southeast Gassers Association to travel the tour with us, certainly for the remainder of this year, to supply fuel to these fire-breathing gasser cars. Now, Larry, first off, let me say welcome aboard, brother. We are so glad to have you. Absolutely.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I'm looking forward to a working relationship and moving into the future where my company as well as Sunoco get on board and we can actually make it together, make things happen, because you can't get to the finish line unless you pour the fuel to it.
Absolutely, Larry. There's no question of that. But like I said, Sunoco, a long name, a history, a storied name in fuels and fuel development, and there's no question that their fuels will certainly benefit the gassers and all of the categories there. And we are definitely blessed to have you with us, and we look forward to a long life relationship.
Here as well, and it's period correct, as they say.
That's right. We may have them make an old can.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work.
There again, ladies and gentlemen, Larry Turner, Turner Automotive, Madisonville, Tennessee. Given the opportunity, go by, see this man, support those who support us. Thank you.
Okay.
Mitch Seagas, one of our most popular categories right here. There you see Doug Dobbins taking on David Cate.
Pair of Chevy 2s it is. We've got plenty of those to be had in the Southeast Gassers Association, David. However, David Cate, Doug Dobbins, this right here is going to be a tough round for David. Doug, your current points leader, that old red Chevy 2 just straight down the avenue, just a bullet out of the gun.
really is. David Cate giving him all he can, but that's just not going to be enough as Doug Dobbins streaks away.
And he does, David, in normal fashion. Again, when he's leading the points, Doug just really doesn't make a few mistakes. I mean, he just right down the racetrack.
Rusty Sampsell in that bad banana taking on Derek Napier in the Atomic Hillbilly.
Well, the Atomic Hillbilly, in which I've now come to name Rusty as the nuclear banana in this 55 Chevrolet over here. It's not just the bad banana, so Derek has got a job just as though these other guys have had, because Rusty, a past race winner, running number 2 in the points, and trust me, he's hungry to pass Doug Dobbins.
Good straight run right there for Sampsell as he marches on to victory over Napier. But I tell you what, Derek Napier is doing a better job in that car. He's had a little learning curve. He's jumping in there for his dad, but he's getting that car down the track well.
No question, David, that he does. And here's the deal, he is making advances. Rusty, bad banana, throwing you a few curveballs for the day, but hey, we've made round 2.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it felt pretty good. I didn't even get to look at it and see what it done, but we'll take that and we'll go on to the next round.
Mitch, there's Josh Owens in the 53 Chevy White Lightning taking on Tim Greer in the Bonafide Rambler.
Tim hasn't been with us for a while. In fact, Josh missed the last race. I think he was up in South Dakota or somewhere at one of the big Harley events. But right here, this is a critical round for both of these guys because, again, both of them been out for the last couple of races. Now they need to get back into the driver's seat and see if they can get practice up for making rounds. And looks like Josh Owens has got the opportunity to go to round 2, so maybe he's got something to build on here.
Man, beautiful lead right there, but that Rambler wheels up in the air. And he gives Josh a good hard run right here and beaten by just about a car length right there.
Ronnie Lineberger coming up next, David, with Dean Harris. And, the old bow tie buzzard, that's pretty cool. But I think that comes from the fact that Ronnie, he's an older gentleman. And he I just love seeing these old guys still in the seat.
Yeah, and a great-looking race car he has there, but no easy task in taking on the Gray Ghost and Dean Harris. And there you see the Ghost just killing him on the line.
Dean may have, the old Ghost may have cast a spell over there on Ronnie because Ronnie did not move except for maybe an inch or so, seen some kind of puff of smoke come out of the car. Not sure what happened.
Yeah, and as you said, this is Ronnie's first time back with us. Maybe one of those gremlins just jumped up and caught him right there.
May well have. Catching up with Steve Farrow on this extremely busy day at Brainerd Motorsports Park. Steve, there's no question that there has been some major changes made to this race facility over the last year. And it could have been in the last few months. I don't know. But from our perspective, coming here last year, 2016, to this year, 2017, we talked about it in the intro. I mean, the fan-friendly bathrooms, all the things you've done, the color coordination. Man, you've turned this into a Class A facility.
Yeah, me and Ron Newman, we took this track over last August, so we're pretty much been here a year. We've renovated the restrooms. We took down the old metal guardrail and added concrete guardrail for the safety aspect of that. We've redone some concession stands, covered the bleachers, which was a big hit with our fans. As you can tell, they seem to like to come out and watch the gassers too, so it's a pretty cool deal. But we've done a lot of renovations, still got a lot of stuff in the works. Like I said, we've only been here a year, and we plan on turning this place around and making it one of the premier tracks in the Southeast. So,
well, we traveled to 10 different tracks, basically 9 different tracks throughout the year. At least we did for the 2017 season. And I got to tell you, it is so refreshing to see your investment, your belief in the future of drag racing. Yes, it's late in the day. We've still got them coming in. They're lining up on the road. The bleachers are already full. So I'm going to give you a suggestion. For 2018, in the Southeast Gasser Association, add more bleachers.
I guarantee you that's one of the big things we're going to work on is bleachers. We actually rented bleachers to seat an extra 1,500 people, and they're full. So, it's awesome. We've got a heck of a turnout. I mean, it's just amazing the people that support the Gassers in this area, and I'm looking forward to 2018 already.
Well, and so are we, Steve. Again, great job. Congratulations, and thanks for having us.
Thanks for all you guys do, too.
Absolutely. Just one of the many folks coming in today to catch a Southeast Gassers Association event, Devin and Aston. Devin, I got to ask you, what exactly is it that brings you to this event, this venue, and specifically this event at this venue, Brainerd Motorsports Park?
Draw a good crowd, turn the motors real hard, and drop the clutch. Fun to watch them shift gears.
So in your opinion, it's mostly about the 4-speed?
Yes, sir.
Another fine customer that will be very pleased once he gets through these gates.
Mitch, that's the epitome of what we do here in the Southeast Gassers, drop the clutch in a 4-speed.
That it is, and that's why Devin and his lovely lady that was with him come out today or on this day to buy this ticket and watch this race is for this very reason. And right here is 2 good examples of what that gentleman was buying a ticket to see. And that right there is the Beard and Yoakum going down the racetrack, 4 speeds, these cars in action. And there you go right there, James Beard. This is a great victory for him. He's just started with us this year, and he's already starting to rack up some wins.
Yeah, James Beard and his dad Dan doing a great job in that obsolete 2. But I tell you what, Lance Yoakum had to thrash to get here and gives him a good legitimate run down the track. Jerry, you see Jerry Birch in the Freebird going to take on Larry Noel in that beautiful 1956 Chevy.
Freebird, Jerry Birch, him and his brother, these guys, as you well know, David, they have just been a total threat, total killers in the C-Gas category. These boys, I tell you what, they've faced controversy here a time or two with this old car, blowed motors, things like that, but they just keep coming back to win races, and this is just another example.
And they really have. They took what Daddy showed them and put it to good use here, as they're always a threat in C-Gas, and taking out Larry Noel right here in first round is evidence of it. There's Jimmy Huff in the big hoopty wagon going to take on Ernie Smith in the One Gone Dog 1956 Chevy Bel Air.
That it is, Ernie, the hired gun for Sonny and the Boots and Sonny's Restaurant 56 Chevrolet entry. Now, here Jimmy Huff, we talked to him at the last race in Lake City, Kentucky about maybe doing a Ford motor for Quain's Grand Illusion Willys. That nothing more need to be said about Jimmy. He is a faithful Ford guy, and I tell you what, he knows how to build one and to turn some RPMs and nothing else. But in this round right here, I believe Ernie does get the better of it.
Yeah, Ernie Smith in that One Gone Dog, really pedaling it down the racetrack to get that victory.
Now, look at that finish, David. That I can't even tell. If it wasn't for the electronic trees, we would not have known who won that race. Coming up right here, David, Todd Blackwell and the Slingshot Chevy 2. What a story. Won the last race, which was his first entry, taking over for his dad. He has got one of the toughest guys in C-Gas right now, Danny Bird, but Danny having some sort of problem, and Todd just taking the win as no sweat.
Number 1 qualifier, Todd Blackwell, moves on to round number 2. A-Gas Mitch Stott, the kings of the sport. There you see Barry Lynn in the little red wagon taking on Earl McLemore in a 58 Morris Minor.
Quain and I were just talking the other day, David, about the Morris Minor. There was some controversy on whether or not this car was ever even legally allowed to compete in the A-Gas or any of the gas categories, but through further research, we believe it was. But regardless, Jesus lives. I certainly love the saying that he's got on the back of that hot rod, but Barry Lynn taking a round win away from him in that big old Chevy wagon.
Yeah, that Chevy wagon really getting down the racetrack against that Morris Minor. Always a crowd favorite because everybody wants to look at that wheelbase and see how in the world he gets down the racetrack. May even be less than an Anglia.
And that wheelbase was part of the reason on why the discussion was there on whether the Morris Minor was ever legal to run, because it was such a short car. Now, here we got the Tasmanian Devil, Gary Klein, going up against one of our statesmen, Sonny Hall and the Sunshine Express. Sonny, one of the more prolific car owners in the Southeast Gassers Association. He is involved with a number of race cars, and in this one right here, Sonny just was not prepared to go. But, hey, he's still out here with us. He's just not going to make first round in Ringgold, Georgia.
Yeah, Gary Klein's really been consistent here in the last few races as he moves on to round number 2. Now here we see that beautiful race car of Justin Moses taking on Tony Turner in the quick and dirty.
2 prime examples of what the Southeast Gassers has to offer in what would be an accurate representation of late 1960s drag racing. You've got this Dodge, beautiful quick and dirty of Tony Turner with some smoke rolling out. He's still fighting that problem up against Justin Moses' 56 Chevrolet, another absolutely gorgeous example of a C-Gas or A-Gas race car. Now, Justin taking the win on this round, and this is one of the few wins for Justin. Hopefully this car is finally coming around, and look at that finish where we've got that red mark there demonstrating the exact finish line provided by Drone South.
Donovan Stott in the white trash. Anglia is going to be taking on Mike Holland, who's driving that Barracuda. It has been in competition before with Mark Newton, but just got a different driver in it this weekend.
Donovan Stott needing this round in. He's leading the points. Don't want to give up anything. I think he's looking for the perfect season, and Lord knows, with the exception of one race thus far, he has had nearly a perfect season.
Closing in on some of those records that was set a year ago by the Birch brothers. And now we see Kenneth Phillips in that 58 Corvette, the Silver Streak, taking on Gabriel Burrow in the Southern Flyer.
Gabriel, number 2 in the points. Kenneth, number 3, as we was talking earlier. Now, Kenneth has thrown out one race. Gabriel hasn't. Technically, that puts Gabriel number 3 with Kenneth number 2. Either way, either of these guys needs to win this round to continue that fight and launch that assault against Donovan Stott.
Looks like Kenneth Phillips gets a good start on the line and maybe gets a little bit on Burrow right there. And that is what's going to carry him on to victory here in this A-Gas round number 1 matchup. That's true.
You know, Kenneth didn't leave anything for Gabriel to take advantage of, and unfortunately, this Ford Chevrolet matchup went to the Chevrolet on this round. Wayne Stott, the boss of the Southeast Gassers Association, the founder, taking on Ben Christopher. A neat little angle over there that's, I guess, awaiting some paint, but if you look underneath where that paint will be, you're talking about one beautifully gorgeous race car professionally built. Now, the same can be said on Quain's Willys, the Grand Illusion. Quain built this car also, and man, what a piece it is. Just curious to see. This is going to be a good drag race right here.
Sure is. Both cars leave kind of together. Ben Christopher looks like he's up on the wheelie bars just a little bit. And there you see Quain Stott taking on the victory there in round number 1.
But just look at those shots that we just had there. Both those cars launching wheels up all the way through the gears, 2nd, 3rd gears, 4th gears. And then look at this finish. Beautiful, beautiful finish. Victory going to Quain.
Mitch D-Gas round number 2, Cynthia Phillips. I hope she's ready for who she's taking on here in Rick Cathcart.
David, that's exactly right. This is the exact outcome that Cynthia really didn't want, and that's the troublemaker of Rick Cathcart. But the thing is I've always kind of said, or I've heard some other old drag racers of my past say, you got to beat them all to win anyway. So this is one of them things to where Cynthia has got to get past Rick Cathcart to actually become a winner.
Good lead right there by both cars. That troublemaker truck might have had a slight advantage. Cynthia going to run him hard all the way to the end.
Troublemaker truck, old Studebaker over there. I don't know exactly what kind of power he's got under the hood, but if it's Studebaker, he's got a lot of it because it just powered right on down the racetrack and kept pulling away from Cynthia. Now, you got to finish here of about a car, maybe car and a half. So, anyway, better luck next time to Phillips Park. Now, Brian Higginbottom and this old Henry J. coming up here with Jumpin' Jack Flash. I tell you, that's a pretty cool name on the side of that old hot rod, David.
It sure is. Richard Carter at the wheel of that. Higginbottom was our runner-up in D-Gas down at Union at our Steel in Motion event.
Got that 396 cubic inches on the fender. That'll let you know he's got a big block Chevrolet up under the hood of that 55 Chevrolet. Here we go, down the racetrack. Both cars clean launched. Looked like a real good drag race at this point. From here, I could not tell you, again, from the side view, both cars hitting them gears right side by side.
Higginbottom with a little bit of an advantage. It looks like he's going to take the victory, but look at this finish line camera. That close is the margin of victory.
I tell you, David, the Southeast Gassers just never fails to impress me, brother. Now, Todd Oden, the big double X 58 Delray Chevrolet, taking on Doug Capps in that little tiny Mustang by comparison. Todd, your points leader. I tell you what, if Doug Capps is planning on making this round, he just screwed up right there. That he did. He jumped the lights. Todd Oden capitalizing on this. It's probably too late, but hey, Doug got a chance. That is very unusual, but he did have time to get that back in there to no avail.
Yeah, that big 58 Double X is moving right along. We see some sparks out from under Doug Capps' car. Hopefully that's not a mechanical malfunction for him, as we like to see him out here in this D-Gas category. But, man, just too much to take there with Todd Oden in that 58
After him seeing what he was doing on the starting line there, trying to get backed up and back in the beams, that very well could have been transmission gears, David. Josh Pruitt on a bye run in the young blood. I tell you what, this guy right here, this kid, I should say, this young blood, he is making rounds, and more power to him. I'm so happy for him and his family.
Seagas round 2, there you see Josh Owens in the White Lightning taking on Doug Dobbins in the car that he calls the Medicine Man.
That it does. Josh got a challenge on his hands right here, and if Josh could take this win from Doug, it'd really give him some needed legitimacy in drag racing, I think, David, because Doug is a very good and seasoned drag racer, as is evidenced by the races he's won and the fact that he is leading the points. Right now, both cars a good, clean launch. Josh leaving with him. Don't see nothing wrong with either pad. Look like Josh may actually be in contention on this race.
Oh, it looks like Doug Dobbins pulled it out, but I agree with you, Mitch. He was with him every step of the way. There you see a mid-track shot. And
no question, David, I do believe Josh may have even left on Doug just a tad, which he needed to do. And look at that finish. What I was just saying, that does kind of start to legitimize Josh in coming into his own as a drag racer. Up next, Jerry Birch Freebird. Nothing more need to be said, just the mention of the name, and you know that you got a champion on your hands.
Taking on Ernie Smith in the One Gone Dog 56 Chevy right there, the hired gun.
Hired gun he is, and right now he has got a job that he's being paid to do. Whether or not he's going to be able to pull it off or not, who knows? A little staging battle going on here. Ernie is forcing Jerry to go in. That is kind of a trick that if you can force your opponent to do what he didn't want to do, then you've kind of got an advantage already. But it did not pay off for Ernie. That all over the racetrack, as was Jerry's. But Jerry had the power to hold on and pull it back up.
A couple of power motors under the hood there. Still don't understand why that car's going left on the Freebird. But there again, like you said, enough to take the victory for the Birch brothers.
Hey, Jerry,
to be seeing you again. That means I'm winning.
And no doubt, when we get to talk to you, usually that means something good, Jerry. But the key word here is the old Freebird back making rounds like we know it can do, and just round 2 in the books, looking for 3.
Yeah, it's still moving left on, so I'm kind of heading to the guardrail whenever right before I stage there at last, and hopefully it corrects. But it's still moving to the center line, but we'll fix it.
Next up, you got Rusty Samsel in the Bad Banana taking on James Beard in the Obsolete 2.
James Beard got a job to do, and, Rusty, he comes all the way from way up in Michigan. He's actually employed with GM Performance Parts, so he knows exactly what to do with this old 55, although he did have some troubles with it earlier today in qualifying. He had some oil leaks that mysteriously come up, water leaks at the race previous. This car has really fought him a little bit, but right now he's got her tuned up and going down that racetrack and making rounds at the expense of James Beard.
I tell you what, James Beard right there, give him all he wanted, but that Bad Banana went straight as an arrow, and I know that is a tune to Rusty's ears.
And that it is. He just loves sitting back in that old car and riding, shifting them gears, and you can see Todd Blackwell, Dean Harris, talk about a matchup here, David.
Yeah, he has got his hands full, Dean Harris does, as Todd Blackwell is the #1 qualifier by a bunch. And I know Dean Harris wants nothing more than to go deep into this Seagas field tonight.
Absolutely he does. And here's the thing about it. This Dean is a past race winner. He is commonly known as a threat in Seagas. Dean goes fast. Todd Blackwell has been won the past race, a race winner. So is Dean. Todd Blackwell's car, #1 qualifier, absolute lethal Seagas car. Now, Dean Harris, I do believe, may be fixing to take him out from the look of the starting line, and he has done it, David.
That is a monumental win for Dean Harris in the Gray Ghost. As you see, he was behind right there. Don't know if Todd Blackwell missed a shift or what happened in that slingshot getting down that racetrack, but nonetheless, Dean Harris, you see, is your winner.
Round 2 in the books, brother. Congratulations, and man, did you take out a juggernaut.
I took out #1 qualifier.
You got to tell me, Dean, how did this happen? I mean, there has been for the last, we're going to say 2 races, Todd, he just seemed to be unbeatable. I mean, this car, that slingshot was screaming, but hey, the Gray Ghost is a bad dog.
I'm going to tell you, I've had motor troubles all year. You know what? But I said, I'm going to give him the best I can possibly run this boy. I did the best burnout I could do, and I tried to kill that tree. I left on him, and I got out on him, and I was gone. I don't know what happened to him, if he broke or whatever, but it don't matter. If you don't get to the finish line, you didn't win. I seen my green light, and I was the happiest I've been in a long time.
A-Gas Mitch, the kings of the sport. There you see Kenneth Phillips taking on the king himself, Mr. Gene Cromer.
Absolutely, David. Gene Cromer, total absolute legend in every sense of the word when it comes to gasser racing in the South or anywhere in the world for that matter. And this car meticulously recreated just a few years ago, and Gene himself, 80-some years young, still sitting behind the steering wheel, enjoying this, still bringing authenticity to the Southeast Gassers Association, getting ready to take on Kenneth Phillips. Gene had better been on his game, but it did not pan out this time.
Leaving a little early, the red eye caught him, and Kenneth Phillips is going to run through and make an ET run right there. Wheels up in the air for Phillips. He gets that Corvette down the track and moving right along.
Wayne Stott, Gary Klein, 2 40 Willises, one jet black, the other one colored up just as beautiful as you would have ever wanted to see one in the 1960s with that authentic paint. And do bear in mind, David, every piece of both of these cars is paint. No vinyl decals here. Why? Because they did not exist in 1967. Now, this job right here, Gary Klein obviously made first round to be here in second round. Gary needing to make rounds, and John Brown, if he don't leave before the tree is activated, just like Gene Cromer did. Quayne waited, beautiful wheels up, launch, and here he goes.
I just love that we're racing at night, and these cars and the paint jobs really pop under these lights, and that's when the stars of the Southeast Gassers come out.
That they do. Now, Donovan Stott, Barry Lynn. We'll go ahead and talk about a star of the Southeast Gassers Association. Donovan Stott, your current points leader by a healthy margin. This will probably be the last race that any of Donovan's competition has an opportunity of stopping him from winning the points this year. If Donovan wins this event, I think it's sewed up for him. Barry Lynn has a job to do. Let's see what happens.
Well, as normal, Donovan Stott just nails the tree as he's accustomed to doing, and he takes the victory over Barry Lynn in the little red wagon.
Barry had a job to do right there, and he just unfortunately wasn't able to get it done. He wasn't able to lead with Donovan, which is obviously difficult to do. And look at that victory right there that Donovan just had. Up next, Jimmy Finley and the Snakebite going up against Justin Moses in that 56 Chevrolet. 2 gorgeous cars. I tell you, Jimmy has missed a couple of races with us. One case hardship was some tow rig trying to get up to Kentucky, I believe it was. He had some problems with that, wasn't able to make that race. So he's back here with a vengeance, David.
Yeah, and Justin Moses with that Paul Vanderpool paint on there. Just cars popping under the lights, and there they go. Jimmy Finley out to an early lead, and let's see if it's enough for him to hold on over Moses. And it is.
That it is. You know, as I said, Jimmy came here with a vengeance, David, and as evidence, he was a #1 qualifier in A-Gas, even above that bad, wicked Corvette of Kenneth Phillips.
Semi-final time right here in Southeast Gasserland. There's Brian Higginbottom in the H-Bomb taking on our #1 qualifier in that XX Todd Oden.
David, Todd Oden, again, just making rounds, maintaining his points lead, not only maintaining it, but adding to it as he keeps making rounds over his competition and those who are closest to him. Brian Higginbottom, this is turning out to be a great show for Brian. You know, he hasn't been making all that many rounds, but he is showing very strong here, and buddy, he has got a strong competitor in big XX over there. Brian leaving early, red light coming on, making it an easy round for Todd Oden.
Well, he knew he had a big job ahead of him, going in thin, and then he just turns on that big red light and giving it over to Todd Oden.
do you see all these fans still up here? I am blown away. I mean, they're still packed. It's beautiful.
Todd, they come to see this double X58 Chevrolet win another race, and I believe you're going to deliver for them. You know, this thing is just making rounds, and there's no question this place is packed. There's no doubt that Ringgold, Georgia loves Southeast Gas.
Well, I love Ringgold, Georgia, and I love this gasser racing. I love it.
Other side of the semifinals, there you see the troublemaker Rick Cathcart taking on the young blood Josh Pruitt out of Inman, South Carolina.
David, both these guys right here, Josh has won races in the past. Rick has not. Now, it's hard to say. You know, Rick Cathcart, the troublemaker, he has made rounds everywhere we go, but he's just yet to go to the finals with this Studebaker truck. So he's kind of taking his time getting ready to stage this old vehicle. Maybe he's got something in mind for Josh. Josh is young, maybe not the experience. Will it work? Will it not? No, actually went against Rick with a red light.
Yeah, Rick has put a new motor in that car, and performance has been better, but he knew he had his hands full right there with the young blood 21-year-old Josh.
Josh, you know, young blood, I'm telling you, brother, we're back to making rounds, and it's good to see you in the latter rounds again.
Oh, it feels good. It always feels good to be the first one through the tree, red light or not.
There's no doubt about that, brother. It certainly does. But the key thing here is you may not realize you have got Todd Oden in the final round. Buddy, that right there is going to be an undertaking.
Oh, yeah, he's got a fast car. There ain't nothing slight about him, but I'm going to give it all I got. My foot's going to go through the floor.
Ernie Smith has got 5 pounds of banana pudding. Now, it should be as no surprise that Rusty Samsel in the Bad Banana is a competitor of Ernie's, and actually he's leading the points in front of Ernie, so Ernie thinks he's got an omen here. He thinks that he's going to bring this banana pudding over and just eat it, and Rusty's going to lose his mojo. So now, Rusty, do you see what's going on here? I mean, what do you think? Is this going to affect you in any kind of a way?
Well, I don't know. Let's see.
Some good banana.
No, that's not real bananas.
Seagas semifinals, a monumental matchup, 1 versus 2 in the points. Doug Dobbins in the Medicine Man versus Rusty Samsel in the Bad Banana.
David, if Rusty has ever needed to win a round in drag racing, this is it. This is a pivotal moment for Rusty. If he can stop Doug, he has now had the opportunity to come, with just neck and neck in this points. And can you imagine what a setup this is going to be for the final 3 races after this event? Rusty is in waiting on Doug. Here is Doug. They are both staged. Lights on. It is a drag race, David.
Pretty even off the line right there. Don't know who it's going to be. Looking tight. Who's it going to be at the end? Rusty Samsel in the Bad Banana.
Hey, not one to play favorites at all. I like both of these drivers, but, congratulations to Rusty, because if for no other reason, it makes this thing interesting as these races go by.
You said a mouthful right there, Mick Stott, and look at the margin of victory at the end.
I got to tell you, Rusty, of the day you've had so far, we've had oil leaks, we've had a multitude of things, but the old Bad Banana, it's very true. That banana pudding that he was eating this morning didn't affect you one bit.
No, it didn't. No, we're really blessed. As you know, I had some trouble earlier in the day. I almost came to the point where I was going to give up, and my dad keeps telling you, I can see him in my head saying, don't give up. And with help of my friends, we got this thing back together. It's running pretty good. We outrun Doug right there. It was a big points race right there, and we ain't done. We got one more round, and we've been bridesmaid too many times. We're going to see if we can pull it off today.
Dean Harrison, the Gray Ghost, taking on the monumental matchup for him will be the Freebird after that battle they had last year.
David, Jerry Birch is certainly the nemesis to Dean Harris. Dean needs to outrun Jerry more than he needs to outrun anybody at this race facility today. Jerry has just routinely just beat up on Dean, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just stating facts. So here we go. It is Dean's opportunity at this point in time to say enough is enough. I'm taking control of this drag race.
And there's Ted Chavarria helping out as he always does on the line here, letting Alicia know she had her foot in the pre-stage beam. So we're glad they got that fixed. And here we go with racing action.
That is true, David, and what Alicia was doing there is sending a false signal to Jerry Birch, making him think that Dean is pre-staged, and technically that would not be fair if allowed to be left undone. So all that was squared away. A good launch. Jerry going red. Jerry knew that Dean had power. Boy, I tell you what, that was a handover for Dean, but I know Dean will take it either way he gets it. He could care less.
And there you see the elation in Alicia Harris. She is excited that her man's going to the final, and what a comeback race for them as they are happy to be here.
You have just taken out your nemesis, Jerry Birch. I don't care. This goes back for ages. And, buddy, you are the victor. And not only that, but you're going into the final round.
Well, you know what? It's been a long time coming, baby. And I don't have the words for it. I've been after the Birch for a long time. I really just don't know what to say, Mitch. I usually can talk, but you know what? This might just be my night.
A-Gas right here. Kenneth Phillips taking on the white trash Donovan Stott.
This is another good matchup that you'll find at any given race that the Southeast Gassers host, David. Donovan, points leader, no need to mention that anymore. Kenneth Phillips, his potential father-in-law, probably no need to mention that anymore, but it is the facts of the case. Now, here we are in the semifinal round. Kenneth Phillips is the last man standing that might as well say, if I can stop Donovan here and now, I can possibly catch him in the point. So Kenneth has a job to do, and I'm betting you Donovan's going to do everything he can to prevent that from happening.
Great launch. What does it look like at the end of the track? It says Donovan Stott wins. Folks, this is a pure Southeast Gasser battle right here.
That it is, David, and I'm going to call it an upset. I really did not think Donovan had a chance to win against Kenneth. That Corvette, his performance is so lethal. Look at this finish right here. That had to be all reaction time advantage.
Semi-final rounds of A-Gas competition. Finding Donovan Stott in this position is nothing new. There's certainly no stretch of the imagination about that. However, there was a bit of confusion as we had Kenneth Phillips in that round, and for some reason or another, Kenneth thought he won, you thought you lost, but the reality is, Donovan Stott, you're going to the final round.
Oh, absolutely. I know there's been some discrepancy in the NHRA here recently with the tail of the tape, they call it, and I cannot wait to see that one because I knew I left on Kenneth, and I knew he's got horsepower, and he was coming back by me, and it was one of those, I was so dedicated to making that car go perfect down the racetrack that I couldn't do my normal glance at him. I could only see his silver and red out the side of my window. And we went through the finish line, and I didn't see my bulb. I guess I don't know if there's a light down there at the guardrail or not. But anyway, so I let Kenneth pass me on the shutdown and all this, and I followed him past the ticket booth, and I was going to follow him across the scales. And he backed into his pit, and I said, Kenneth, go away. Like I'm telling you, my friend, go away. And you beat me. I said, no, I didn't. You had to. No, right here. And so we sat down there trying to do math.
Wayne Stott right there in the Grand Illusion, taking on the Snakebite Mustang of Jimmy Finley, the #1 qualifier here tonight.
You know, David, not to take anything away from Quayne, but he's not normally found in the later rounds. Now, I'm going to give a reason for that. Quayne is so busy with the operations of the Southeast Gassers Association that he really don't have a lot of time to really prepare himself or his car for the next round. So, to see him here, must say that Quayne's pretty pleased with how this race event is going. Certainly the spectator count has been absolutely astronomical today, and so here he has got an opportunity to put the Snakebite on the trailer, and I just wonder if he's got enough power to do it. He may be needing that Ford power that Jimmy Huff's been talking about at the last race or two to take out this Ford. So they're staged. Here we go.
Good launch by both drivers. There you see Quayne getting a little out of shape. Jimmy Finley holding it straight down the racetrack, and he marches on to the finals against Donovan Stott.
You know, and did you see that launch from Quayne there? That is, I'm going to tell you right now, that is taking experience from his Pro-Mod days. You noticed that car moving right and left, but he wrapped it up and had it straight in line really quick.
Jimmy Finley, Snakebite made another round, and that was a crucial round because it put you into the finals of A-Gas for the first time in a while.
It did. This will be my second final for the year, and we're going to hope for the best. I'm running one of them Stott boys, you know which one I'm talking about. And he's pretty tough, but we're going to give him a run.
Mitch Stott D-Gas final as it should be. Number 1 qualifier Todd Oden and number 2 qualifier Josh Pruitt.
The 2 last men standing, these 2 guys, Josh and Todd, they have made their way. They beat their way through eliminations today. They're up here for the final round. I can promise you that Josh probably wants this one more than Todd because Josh only has 1 win under his belt. Todd's got multiple. Todd is your current points leader, most likely going to carry it out through the end of the season as the champion. So I can bet you that Josh Pruitt is sitting here thinking, how can I take this tank out of my way and win this race? So they're staged. Let's see if he can do it.
Oh, the red eye caught him as he was trying to get him on a hole shot right there to be your victor here today, but not to do. Todd Oden will take the victory here at Ringgold, Georgia tonight.
Well, congratulations to Todd, but I'm so happy to see that Josh felt the need to take every advantage he could, even though it turned into a red.
Josh, you know, buddy, it's sometimes you just can't make the win, but hey, you made it to the finals, and this is nothing to be ashamed of.
And I had his number, too. I had his number all day.
Well, we'll be looking for you again. Todd Oden, I tell you what, Double X strikes again, my man. Final round victory, Ringgold, Georgia. You have destroyed the points. I've been calling you the winner of the D-Gas points for the last couple of races. I think I don't have nothing more to worry about. I'm going to be right this year.
Thank you so much. I am fired up. I mean, this has just been a great race. The stands were packed. Fans have been great. So many people have come by and just talked so good about us, and I'm just having the best time. I can't express how happy I am.
Todd Oden, man, look at you coming in here to victory lane. What's this make, 3 in a row?
I can't even remember how many, but I'm just telling you, I'm happy to be here. 1 year ago, I stood over there in the burnout box, and I called my dad, and I said, we got to get involved in this gasser thing. This is the best thing I've ever seen. I love it.
And now you're setting D-Gas on its ear because nobody else can compete, even though you had some great competition today. That young blood, Josh Pruitt, who you beat in the final, he really stepped it up.
He did. He's running great. You know, he put the whoop on me last time up there at Union, so I owed him one tonight.
You had a lot of family and friends here. I know you want to thank some of them. Who are some of your sponsors you want to give credit to?
MTO Motors, our car lot. Vincent Race Engines. Mr. Vincent was here tonight, and his son Lee. I'm thankful to have all these wonderful people that help us with the car. My dad, my family, all these fans that stayed all the way to the end. I mean, I can't imagine. It's the most wonderful thing ever. It's great.
You think we can get a word with Dad, or is he going to stay off camera? Look at him. Here he comes, I believe. Come on over. Oh, he's moving. All right. Mr. Oden, so glad to get you on camera, and I know you got to be proud of your son and proud of the accomplishments that y'all made this year.
Absolutely. We really enjoyed it and had a good time here. Southeast Gassers is really fun to be with.
Well, did you ever think that phone call that you got from Todd last year would lead to this?
No, I sure didn't. We had to do a lot of thinking about it, and after I checked into the rules, and we really thought it would really be a good place for us to be. And all the family enjoy it. You know, we just have a good time with it.
Well, we're glad to have y'all's family be part of our family.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, and congratulations again on this and a bigger points lead for you.
Thank you, David. I appreciate you, too.
Todd Oden, there's your winner in D-Gas. Big C-Gas final right here. There he is, the Bad Banana Rusty Sampson taking on the Gray Ghost in Dean Harris.
David, both of these guys have been on a dry spell, no question about it. Both of them have won races, both of them capable of winning races. 2 great cars, 2 wonderful representations for the Southeast Gasser Association, 2 good period correct cars. And speaking of, the one Rusty Sampson's riding in is an actual artifact from racing of days gone by.
And I love the fact that they got their wives out front. There's Sharon Sampson helping her husband, and there's Alicia helping her husband. And I tell you what, they probably dated in cars much like this.
They probably, especially the Rusty. He may have well dated his wife because he's had this car in his family since he was a kid. But it is put up or shut up time right now. The wives can help them no more. These 2 guys, they are ready to do battle one-on-one. It's man and machine versus the other. This is for the bragging rights until the next race and could possibly be for the championship in Rusty's favor. Good launch, cars both going down the racetrack, David. Who is it going to be?
There you see Dean Harris getting a little squirrely up there on the top end. Don't know if there's something under his tires or not. And Rusty Sampson marches on to the win, and I know he is going to be elated about this.
Absolutely. It's been a while for Rusty. A good win, car length win right there. Good job. Well done, my brother. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mitch. This is just an awesome day. I don't know where to start. We got to thank God for what's taking place here today. I mean, just all these. Everybody here is such a wonderful bunch of people to race with. I love Dean Harris to death. I mean, we had a big hug before we run this, and I told him, I said, no matter who wins this, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And God shone on me today. There's no doubt. I mean, I just about threw in the towel earlier today, and here we are in the winner's circle. Oh my God! Who'd have thunk it? Really? You kind of drove me off at the last race, man. When you were doing the thing, you said it was down to Doug and Jerry, and the old Bad Banana just kind of got pushed off to the side. So I think the Bad Banana was wanting something to prove something to you, man.
Rusty Sampson, man, it has been a long journey, but you got this Bad Banana back in victory lane. Congratulations here in Ringgold, Georgia.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we got so many people. Oh my God, I don't know where to start. We need to thank the Lord for what we can do here. I mean, you think about this. We're having a good time tonight. You think about these people in Texas right now that are trying to dig themselves out of such a hole. Everybody needs to be thinking about them. And the two guys whose names on the top of this car, without them, this thing wouldn't be here. And it's their work years ago that put this car together the way it is, and I'm running it the way that they put it together. And it's bad. It's bad, I'm telling you.
It is a bad race car, and Rusty, that's the passion that they put into you too, son. I mean, we see it, and every time you go up and down the racetrack, Dad's riding with you. We know that. But, that passion, just like the Platt families out here, your dad put it into you, and what a lineage he left to you.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and my wife, Sharon, we got to get her in here. Come on. She travels all the hours that we put in coming down to all these races. She's there beside me every time.
She sure is. And Rusty, I don't know if you saw this, but Sharon was jumping just as big as you probably were with that smile on your face, Sharon.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a big new fan here.
Hey, buddy, what's your name?
Waylon.
And what do you have in your hand?
A thing that goes to a car.
A thing that goes in the car. That's a spark plug, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And did Mr. Rusty give that to you?
Yeah.
Man, that's a good-looking shirt. Rusty, that's just another testament to what you and Sharon bring to the Southeast Gassers. I remember you telling me that's what you wanted to give to the children because they'll remember it. I don't have anything to just give to them, and you want to give back. Right. And Rusty, thank you so much for the passion that you share and what you mean to us. Right. That's Rusty Sampson, your C-Gas winner. A-Gas Finals, the kings of the sports, the Southeast Gassers.
David, it is Jimmy Finley, and I gotta say, I am Donovan's father, so with that, I'm so proud to introduce him into the final round here. Is as much of a broken record as it is him winning races this year, and kind of want to be talking about somebody else winning races, but the fact is Donovan has done a fine job, and he's earned every single race he's won. He is by far not the fastest car here. He's just done a fantastic job of driving, and that's got him to a final round matchup with Jimmy Finley. Now, Finley has got a major performance advantage, and so this is Jimmy's race to lose. That is for fact, David, and they're both staged. Here we go. Good launch for both cars.
Donovan just tattoos him on the line. He pulls the wheels up in second and third gear and marches right on to the victory here in Ringgold, Georgia tonight. You can see it great from this shot, folks. Jimmy Finley just caught napping at the line right there, and Donovan takes the victory.
Donovan had just enough power there to take advantage of Jimmy's tardiness on the starting line, but look at that margin of victory. I just got to tell you, I am blown away. I didn't think Donovan would win this round.
Donovan Stott, white trash angler, it's the same old story. But hey, buddy, you owe an apology to no one. All you owe is thanks to God, and let's hear what you got to say.
You're right, Dad. Last time, I don't even know, man. I told Jimmy, and I meant it from the bottom of my heart. I said, Jimmy, I've never wanted somebody to beat me so bad from my heart. I said, but up here, I'm going to kick your butt. And he kind of laughed. I said, Jimmy, I'm serious. I want you to win because I know maybe not, but I know people pulling for Jimmy. That's fine. I've won enough, and I totally agree with it. I've won enough this year. But, doing the burnout, it's just one of those. I got to go to work. This is my office, and this may or may not pay the way for the rest of my life. And so when whoever may be watching this stuff sees Donovan Stott, he's running, man. He's doing this, he's doing that, he's trying this. And I wanted Jimmy to win so bad. Whatever. And I just let go. I come through the finish line like all of a sudden that just changed. Like, yeah, and I know that's not the way to be, but I think.
Well, once a drag racer, always a drag racer, Donovan, is my words, and it's obviously what I've tried to share with you in my life. Your job is to win that race. That's why I said when you got out, you owe an apology to no one, only thanks to God. But, you have absolutely dominated this season. You bounced back. Jimmy, he took the championship away from you last year, so to speak. So now it's just your turn again, brother, and cherishing it because it could be the last one.
Well, Donovan Stott, here we find ourselves in victory lane again, brother. Congratulations, man. What a hole shot you put on Jimmy Finley in the final.
David, I was telling Dad down there at the finish line, I've never wanted somebody in my heart to beat me so bad in my life, but in my head, I was still going to go to work. And I was going to do a big, long, showy burnout, and nope, I'm going to work. And so sure enough, I did a little short burnout, got my plan together, and I went to work, and like I said, I really wanted Finley to win, truly and deeply. He's one of my favorite guys to race, but cards fell on my side yet again.
It's still a race, man. So, like you said, you got to punch the ticket and go to work, and you did. I mean, you treated him bad and kept that hold of that for that victory.
Oh yeah. He out-ET'd me by a good margin, really. And I left on him, but like you were saying, David, that's my job, that's my work, and I don't know who may be out here watching, but this may pave the path for the rest of my life. And so maybe some guy, if I would have lost this round, well, he ain't that good. But you never know who's watching this stuff, so I gotta do it for me.
Well, that's why we like it. Heads up, hammer down, first one to the finish line. And Finley would not have appreciated any gift at all. No. He wants it the hard way.
Yep, absolutely. And I told several people I can never give anybody anything, because if I knew that they gave it to me, I'd never race them again.
That's right. Well, I tell you what, Donovan, it's not a broken record, son, but, man, you just keep adding up points to this championship, man, and it is getting to be a big one. Donovan Stott, A-Gas winner right here in Ringgold, Georgia tonight. Well, Mr. Stott, here we are, Brainerd Motorsports Park, and a great event that we just had come off right here with some great action.
David, Ringgold, Georgia, Brainerd Motorsports Park, it has absolutely just blown us all away today. From the professionalism of the racetrack, the race facility, the guest bathrooms, the awning covered bleachers, to the race surface, to the new concrete guardrails. Everything about this place has come together to provide us a venue for one of the greatest Southeast Gasser events we've seen all year, if not in many years. But the point is, now we had this place packed with spectators, with Southeast Gasser fans coming here today to see this race. I don't know what the numbers are, but I know beyond a shadow of a doubt it shattered this track's attendance record. Now, we went up just about dark. It was around 8 o'clock. People were still coming in the gates. We done an interview with a few people coming in, and I mean, their excitement level, them talking about, I asked them, why did you choose this venue and this event? They said, well, it's a nice racetrack and 4-speed gear changing action. I said, right on, brother. But no doubt, David, this has been a heck of a great day.
Yeah, the crowds were enormous. As I was in the tower announcing, I mean, I just looked and all I could see was cars and tops of cars. The guys brought out some classic cars. The car club here really showed out in force, and our staging lanes were packed with people, rubbing elbows with all our drivers, just as we want it here in the Southeast Gassers. And the racing action was just as hot. And I tell you what, Rusty Samsel getting back to victory lane in C Gas was a huge win tonight for him.
Well, I've never shied away from calling Rusty my favorite. You know, it's just Rusty's whole package. That car is so era correct. It is era. You know, that thing is just drugged from then to now, and no changes made. It was his father Jack's hot rod. Rusty, you know, played in this car as a kid. He has memories of his dad changing gears, even down to the point where his dad's ashes are literally in the frame rails. And Rusty has fought this car a little bit this year. It's bucked him a little bit. I was only too happy to interview Rusty in that final round as a winner. No question about it.
And his wife Sharon on the starting line. I hope we got some video of her because she was elated. And it has been a long, bumpy road for them here in 2017. And then they're just a stalwart of what we stand for here in the Southeast Gassers.
Absolutely, David. You know, not only did they travel extensive miles from northern Michigan for every race that we do, but you know, they are such good people. And, you know, Rusty had Dean Harris in the finals. Obviously, we can't go without talking about Dean and this Gray Ghost. You know, both these guys put up a fight. Both of them, it's been a long time since they've been in the winner's circle. Both of them deserving of the winner's circle, but they can only be one. And Rusty told me in the final round interview, he said, you know, Dean and I are buddies. We hugged each other before the run. And he said, honestly, we both felt like a winner either way. You just don't get that kind of camaraderie and friendship in much motorsports. You just don't. I'm sorry.
Well, and, you know, I don't want to say it's the same old song in D-Gas or A-Gas. Multiple winners here. Same guys, Todd Oden in D-Gas, Donovan Stott in A-Gas. But, you know, Donovan Stott really had to go to work this time because Jimmy Finley, if you looked at it on paper, he may have had him covered. But old Donovan pulled out a whole shot on him for the ages.
Well, you know, Donovan's doing his job, and Donovan, when again final round interview, you know, he got out of the car, and sometimes I can sense that he's feeling like, you know, why am I winning so much? You know, I think he's winning because he does a fine job. But I told him when he got out of the car, I said, son, you know, you owe no one an apology, and you only need to thank God. That's all. You know, you're here. You've won this one. Cherish it. It could be your last one. You know, just because you won this one don't mean you win in the next one. But, yes, Donovan has done a phenomenal job. I do think it's safe to go ahead and call him the 2017 A-Gas champion, that position that he fought so hard for last year and lost to Jimmy Finley. But so Jimmy is a nemesis to Donovan. But the point is, Donovan wanted so much, you know, to be the first two-time back-to-back champion. Well, I think he's now going to get to be the first two-time champion in A-Gas. So you brought up Todd Oden. You know, when you talk about Donovan Stott and Todd Oden in the finals, it's kind of like, is this race, the last race, the race before? It's just the same old story. But my God, these two guys, Todd and Donovan, they just dominate their fields. They dominate their categories. They win and they don't lose. And to that end, Todd Oden, very safe to say, I think he's your 2017 D-Gas champion because, hey, he's just winning races. Nobody can do nothing to him.
Well, but, you know, in D-Gas, we saw Josh Pruitt come back, a winner already this year. But, man, I'm going to tell you what, he really gave Oden a run for his money. The red light got him. He went a little thin there in the finals, but he is letting it all hang out in his chase to win another race.
Well, you know, there again, David, as an old drag racer, if you ain't red lighting, sometimes you ain't trying. And that's one of the things that I hope Josh takes from this, and one of the things that I am most proud of him at. He done what he could to beat Todd Oden. And to that end, that shows me that he's hungry, he's dedicated, and he's focused. And so with that, I know that we'll see Josh in the winner's circle soon.
Well, and as we always do, Mitch, great event. We want to go out of here and give the Lord thanks for all that he's given us.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you in Jesus Christ's holy name, and dear God, what blessings you have bestowed upon us today, and we thank you so much for those blessings and the safety of everyone involved with the Southeast Gassers Association, from the racers to the workers to the spectators. Doesn't matter. All of us have been touched by your hand, Father, and we just want to say thank you and ask you one more time, as we always do, put a hedge around us and all of us on our way home. We thank you so much, and again we say, dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed on us, and we love you because you first loved us. In Jesus Christ's holy name we pray. Amen.